Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, man. shit, shit, son. Yeah. Peace, 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 peace. Yo,
I speak for the 5 he do.
divine Allah. Peace wise, this is a good topic because I seen that Muslim God video about Allah. Them fools was out of pocket. Ah! So check this out. Look, man. We're gonna get it all the way cracking today. We're gonna do something different. Um, oh, my day is peace, G. My day is peace. How about yourself? Um, we're gonna do something a little different because I got stuff to do, and so we starting a little earlier, and we're gonna do it like that. So, but I did put in the community tab. I did put in the community tab. So there was a poll I did on because I'm going to start doing reaction videos, and they're not going to be long like this one. A lot of it is literally wise. Yeah, indeed. Um, so it's going to be a lot of the reaction videos are going to be shorter, but this one I actually did. I did a so full disclosure. I've watched some of this video. I didn't watch it all. But I did like a pre-recorded. I started a pre-recorded reaction video to this, um, and it was getting hella long because this is like an hour-long video, and so I think it's better to do it live. And so I'm going to start. We're going to start this, and we're going to do it like that. And so I'm gonna make sure. Let me make sure everything is good. And yeah, so okay, cool, cool, cool. And then man, I can't really see um no, I can't oh actually okay, cool, cool. All right, cool. Let's do it like that. Yeah, yeah, the one with by kill. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna do it like this. Um So already when it says who made Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, a deity of worship among the 5%, I automatically have an issue with that. Like, what? Clarence 13X. All right. So for those of you who haven't seen the video that Darkim did, who is Clarence 13X, in in the video he asks how is your name Allah and his name is unknown. So these brothers right here, and I'm gonna play because like I said, I don't remember everything. Like when I tried to do the I didn't watch it, they're not qualified. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. So they like to say their name is Wakil Allah, and I think well, the other brother. Anyways, so with Darkim, that video that he did is like, okay, how is your name Allah and his name is unknown? You see, so look, but we're going. I'm gonna play it, and we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna do it like that.
Planet, assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth,
Peace.
all of the righteous families of the planet. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
It's your big brother Fahim back again with the great God. Man, what I'm kicking under this table. man.
Yeah,
My
his
daughter got all kind of stuff up
Fahim.
under here. I'm just
Indeed,
checking the
God.
His
thing.
name
I
is
didn't even see it up
Fahim.
there. But yeah, I'm here today, you know, building with the great God, Wakil Allah. You know what I'm saying? The God stopped through to, you know, holler at me real quick. And you know what I'm
Okay, so hold
saying?
on.
You know, it's good to see you
No doubt.
again,
Good to see my
brother.
brother.
So hold on. His name is Wakil Allah. You see, it says it right there. They son Allah, aka Brother Fahim. How do you guys have this name Allah, and you saying his name is Clarence 13X? Clarence 13X is a Muslim. That's a Muslim. You see, God told me that we never met Allah, or pardon self, that we never met Clarence 13X. We met Allah on day one. His name was Allah. So, aka Father Allah, nah. You see, people do that because they don't feel comfortable saying Allah. They don't feel comfortable just his name is Allah. No father. I mean, he was a father to certain people. Yeah, he's the father of this nation. So that's why people call him the father, right? But his name is Allah. That's his name. That's his name.
Brother, all
You
praise
know,
is due to Allah.
yes, you know, I
Good
know
to see the God.
we always, you know, be on the live building, but you know, it's good when I can see the brothers every now and then, and you know, build with my brothers, man.
Likewise, God, actual facts.
How everything been going on, God?
All well, God. All praise is due to Allah. Be the family well. How you and the family, God?
Everything is all well, man. Just trying to maintain, you know, trying to, you know, deal with these little business ventures and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know why it says. Why does it say that? 5% nation. Why does it say that? Hold on, let me get rid of that. All right, cool.
Right. Building. God dealing with industry right here. Me and the God are like minds like that. You're doing the same thing, dealing with the science of real estate, you know what I mean? And providing services for our people. So all praise is due to Allah. And peace to all the other brothers and sisters that's involved in this process.
Yeah, that's important. You know, like I said, me and my daughter, we just started our little Airbnb, you know, thing out here in Atlanta. And, you know, like we trying to.
So a little history, as far as I know, and if y'all know some of the history, just what as far as I've heard, as far as the story of Muslim gods, Wakil is the founder of the Muslim God. And I'm not even going to say movement, because right here, the MGC network, that's a Muslim God, I don't know, channel network or something. So yeah, that's so Wakil, as far as some of the history that was revealed to me, he's so I'm gonna be pausing sometimes and reading comments because I don't know how to stop pause it from this screen. So Muslim God is oxymoronic. How can you be Allah at the same time be Muslim? Muslim means one who submits to Allah. So whom are they submitting to? These dudes probably be making salah on a rug facing towards Mecca, Saudi Arabia. I mean, you see how they was greeting, you know, they said peace and then assalamu
At
alaikum.
least by the summer, try to get up to about 3 to 5 units,
Right.
you know, by the summertime. But simultaneously, I did like a cleaning business as well, because of course with Airbnbs comes turnovers, you know, what they would, you know, and that short stay rental arbitrage, they would call it like turnovers. So we do turnovers and stuff like that and places, and it's pretty good, God. Those two businesses right there is just two recent things I started, and you know, it's pretty deep. It's been keeping me busy. You know what I'm saying?
That's peace, God.
You know, so yeah. At the end of the day, you know, the father said, you know, like we gotta,
it's weird hearing
take
people
on
that
trades and try to get some sort of skill and try to, you know, that's important for our people to do.
Right.
I feel like once you know, get this 120, you know, your lessons,
and y'all
you
can
know,
hear the audio, right?
mastered,
Y'all can hear
committed
them
to
talking?
memory, and of course now you live in it. I
Push
think the
one
next
if y'all can
step,
hear
of
them
course,
talking.
after that is to build something where you can at least, you know, have some money,
Right.
finances, you know what I'm saying?
Sell, ourselves, build that currency, God.
Right.
That's just what it is, currency.
And then like the messenger said, land, most important, land is freedom. You know what I'm saying? So if you can find you a property that's on 3-4 acres of land, 5 acres of land, and
true,
you could afford to get it, get it. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, God, like I said, I wanted to call you out here just, like I said, to get a quick build with you. I was building with some of the gods. This was well, I know you seen the build that I did with the brothers on the 5% Connection channel.
Right. Oh yeah.
True indeed, God. True indeed.
The brothers, we had a real peaceful build. You know what I'm saying? Very respectful, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there was things that I said in the build,
definitely a hot seat.
Or during the course of that interview that, with some gods, it kind of rubbed them the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
So let me pause it right quick. So what he's talking about, if y'all go to the 5% Connection, it's basically a episode of like a hot seat to where they challenging I think Fahim, he said, brother Fahim. They're challenging his notion that this other brother was a firstborn in D Mecca. And so if y'all want to know the background of that, then yeah, y'all could do the knowledge. Just go to the 5% Connection, and then y'all hear about that. It was
some of those things I kind of wanted to come back out and just kind of clarify a little clearer. You know what I'm saying? Some of the statements I was making. You know what I'm saying? One of those statements, I'm not gonna go over all of them today, but one of those statements is when I mentioned that the father was just a baby. When we, go back through these lessons, through our studies and our teachings, first of all, me and you, we like, I'm almost 50. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for the God, but I'm you know what I'm saying? Right. So
hold on. He said, that's weird. How are you going to call Allah the Father? He said the father was a baby. What? Bro. Automatically, we're 4 minutes in, bro. First of all, I definitely didn't agree with this title. This title is, stupid. But calling Allah a baby? Okay.
So I done been studying these lessons now 30 years.
Right.
25, 30 years.
Clearly, so you still don't understand it.
You understand the process of what it takes or what is required to be a righteous person.
Right.
A 5%er.
Right.
The father, from my understanding, came into the mosque, and he was in and out of the mosque, first of all. But
all right. So Divine said, cats like this are the same category as Lord Jamar and the people who say don't born the math. They just want to mix and dilute the teachings. Yeah, look, man. Yeah.
But he may have been in there maybe 2-3 years. He left the mosque, went to the streets. He was on the streets for about another maybe 4 years, 4 to 5 years. And then after that, he was assassinated. So when we look back now in retrospect, a lot of times when I meet brothers today and they tell me, yo, I ask them, how long you had knowledge? And they're like, oh, about 7-8 years now, almost 10 years. Right. I mean, we look at them as babies.
Right.
In truth, because we understand that, you don't know enough yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's not no disrespect or anything, but
that's not true. That's not the case, because I've met people who have the knowledge longer than me that don't see it and can't make it walk and talk like I can. So all because you had it for years, months, and days don't mean nothing. You see, you got to deal with the understanding. All because you have the knowledge don't mean nothing. What you going to do with it, you see, is knowledge and then wisdom and then understanding. How do you take it to born and then knowledge add a cipher? So all because you had it for, like 5, 6, 7, 10 years doesn't mean the person that has it 30, 40 years got it better than you, right? Like, of course, as you continue to do something, I don't want to say practice, but you live this culture out for a longer time, you can express it. Uh, you have the ability to express it in a different manner, right? Also, you got to think of it's different if you get this knowledge at 16 in 10 years, you'll be 26, then you gain it at 26 in 10 years is 36, right? And so I don't agree with that. I I I understand what he's trying to say, but the underlying theme of it is that he's trying to discredit Allah and say Allah is a baby. First of all, what you're not factoring in is that this so-called baby that you want to call him, he was able to give the knowledge and wisdom to people that had it for 40, 50, some people still got it in 60 years and they still see what he says as right and exact. So all these people that had the knowledge longer than Allah did still see that what he taught was right and exact. So, that example, it's not correct.
That individual is not developed enough, not only in just knowledge, but just discipline, because it takes time
Yeah,
to
they're the
build
85.
patience,
Right.
which
Or
is
actually,
a very
they could be
strong
taught,
discipline that the average human being is not born with. That's something you have to develop over time.
You could go two ways with this, Divine. So Divine said, would you say these so-called Muslim gods are 85ers, 85 percenters? There's two ways you could go with that. One, some of them never really understood, and they just believed. So they were never the 5%, right? They never saw it for themselves. So it's really like, okay, sure. And then some of them um are the 10% because they are leading people in the wrong direction. You see what I'm saying? They're leading people in the wrong direction. And I'm not saying these brothers are doing it, but sometimes people try to hijack the 5% our teachings and all that so they can steer people to what they got going on, to their program, to their school of thought. You see what I'm saying? And so yeah, this we not down for that. You got your own nation, we got our own nation. We could be family, we could be brothers and sisters, right? But this is our particular family. So it depends. Like, if they doing it um and they just don't understand, then yeah, they're the 85. But if they're doing this with the intention to um steer people in the wrong directions, they're the 10%. Because they definitely not the 5% teaching about some mystery god shit.
But we look at the individual and we see that he's not developed completely yet. So there may be things in his teachings, or there may be things in just his ways and actions that people may call into question. Me and one of the guards is building on the power he won, and we was just talking about the father when he made the statement that this is not we're not pro-black, we're not
anti-white.
Right, we're not pro-black, we're not anti-white, we're pro-truth, I think, or pro-righteousness.
Right, pro-righteousness. Right, anti-devilishment.
Anti-devilishment.
You often hear that quote,
right? Right. We hear that quote, and I think I was building with a brother one time, and I told him, I said, the father made that statement back during the 60s because there was a lot going on in the black community with, just teenagers, what I'm saying? And the father didn't want his young teens to get caught up in all of that type of, stuff that was going on. So to kind of take them out of the line of fire.
I mean, there's some truth to that. Peace, Rishi. Hey, Rishi, this for you. Peace. So yeah, we I'm doing a reaction to this, and you know, I already got my comments. So
he just, I guess, to calm everybody down. We're not pro-black.
Right, being all wise.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was a call of wisdom. It was something that he stated that showed wisdom. But that doesn't mean that we're not pro-black.
What? Okay. Look. This is this a new Muslim? No, this is old. Shit, how old is this? How old is this? This is 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. So no, it's not new. Okay. So I really one of my pet peeves, right? One of my pet peeves is that people say we, we, we. Look, I'm not French. What's up with all this goddamn we shit, bro? Why you say we, you really mean you. You see what I'm saying? You mean you, because you can't speak for this. You're not even in the a lost 5%. I mean, yeah. Uh Yeah, if he was a 5%er, he would have automatically knew the pro righteousness and anti devilish was saying. That's basic G, basic. That's like 5% 101. We're not pro black because you're black doesn't mean we're down with what you do. You see, that's one of the things knowing. Yeah, it was not even a phenomenon, G. It's not even a phenomenon. So all because you're black doesn't mean we're down with what you do. All because you're black does not mean we agree with you. You see, in 120, you will learn this. You will learn this. In history, you will learn this. COINTELPRO was successful in the black community because they sent black agents. What are you talking about? No, we're not pro-black nor anti-white. We're not anti-white because our job is to teach all the human families of the planet Earth. You see, this is coming from Allah, the founder of this nation. So if you don't agree with that, like I mean, he laid down what it was going to be. I never understood the Muslim God phenomenon. Yeah, it's not even a phenomenon, G. They just on the internet. Why don't they just go join the mosque? Yeah, I don't, because like I said, maybe you know, uh, maybe they think they're doing the right thing, and that's peace, or maybe they're trying to steer people in their camp, and if that's so, then that's on some 10% shit. Yeah. I remember when I first got the knowledge Wakil was causing confusion with his Allah team stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's the same goddamn thing.
Teachings aren't pro-black. These teachings are, in fact, of course, pro-black. Right. However, the father said that during that time for a particular reason. But a lot of the individuals today would look at that and grab it and run with it and say, see, we're pro-black. The father said it. Not understanding the time.
Correct.
All right. So I did have a conversation like this with my educator. And he said brothers, are pro-black because they deal with certain things, right? Like programs and all that. Once you're in favor for, right? Then, because like I said, we got to teach all the human families of the planet Earth, and so then, what would be your definition of black? And how far is that pro you going for? How far is that pro? You see what I'm saying?
Or the situation that
right.
was going on.
Right. Very important.
So I just wanted to get you to talk on that just a minute, God. Like as far as the elders that we know who started the 5% Nation of Islam, how long did those brothers have knowledge of self? When were they introduced to the mosque, to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and how long did they stay? Start with Brother Clarence 13 with the father. How long?
Hey,
well, God,
he's not a 5%.
In the name of Allah.
Hold on. Look, okay. So they're talking about a time where he was in the mosque. Okay. All right, cool. He was Clarence 13X. Like, Allah's 5%, we don't discredit that part of his life. Just like we don't discredit when he was Clarence Smith. You see, we don't discredit that part, right? It's not like we erased all his history. And then, when he came to us day one, that he didn't have any history before that. You see, we bear witness that he was in the Korean War. We bear witness that he was in the Nation of Islam. We bear witness that he had a history. He was from Danville, Virginia. Born February 22nd, 1928. Close the door. And so, we bear witness, right? We can only go off what the God said, what Allah said. And so, and what people said about him, and some of the documents that we have that, Freedom of Information Act and stuff like that. So, there's certain documents that was released and all that. And so it's not that we're erasing his history before becoming Allah, right? He returned what is it? 55 years? 55 years ago. I mean over 55 because it's not June, right? So 55 years ago, and y'all still calling him Clarence 13X? Doesn't make sense. Especially this nation.
13X and the 5%ers. Did a volume 1, and I did a volume 2. Then we also did another supplemental book to that, called TNT, The Naked Truth, from the gold mine of Abu Shahid, the elder of the nation of God's and earth, the 5%ers.
He's not an elder of the nation of God's
and
earth.
So in my quest to really go into this.
Stop it. Abu Shahid has history. Yes, he has history in the early days of this nation, right? He has history. Abu Shahid is not an elder of the 5% nation. Of everyone that I've ever heard and build, he's not. You see, in the Enlightener, it talks about Allah and justice. The history that was revealed to me is that Abu Shahid deserted the 5%. He left. You see, and other brothers did too. He's not an elder in. No, stop it. He's not an elder of this nation. Stop it. He has history with Allah, all that good stuff. We're not taking that away. To call him an elder of this nation is emphatically incorrect. He's not an elder of this nation. He's not. Because how many people have y'all met, listening to this? How many people y'all met that trace their tree back to Abu Shahid? So, yeah, he's not because they and I say this because they try to push this. The brother Fahim said the same thing on Minister Freedom's 5% connection, that Abu Shahid was a elder, and like Abu Shahid's not an elder of this nation.
The history of the 5%ers it's just like the Father taught us, start at knowledge, go to the foundation, right? So the first thing I had to go to was the knowledge and wisdom of the cipher, the 120 lessons, or the foundation, as the elders taught it, being knowledge, Allah and the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, wisdom, the most honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah, right? So it starts there. And those are like the two examples that they had to come into the knowledge of themselves. So we say knowledge and wisdom, right? Then the understanding is like the knowledge is like the father, the wisdom is like the mother, and the understanding is like the children, right? And that's the stars of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
So the way the father got introduced to it, like many other brothers and sisters that was there in the Harlem community, came from the national representative of the Nation of Islam at the time, Minister Malcolm X, right? So when you look at Minister Malcolm X, one of the things you will see, like you said, we've been in this knowledge for a very long time, right? And you'll see that Brother Malcolm was in the nation really like 12 years before he even left. So he was only there for 12 years. And I heard the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan say before that, we are babies. We are baby nation of Islam. Per the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself manifested that. We are baby nation of Islam, but we are wise children in this, right? So you got children that are wise, that are disciplined. You got some children that are unruly, etc. Right? But the measurement is like when you take 12, right? 1 and 2, the knowledge and wisdom. Then you take that 12. So we're looking at 12 inches, like a ruler, right? So initially in the supreme mathematics or the living mathematics, the elders came up with 12 being ruler. And that's also a teaching in the Nation of Islam, right? And
what did he say?
Allah the Father put it in the alphabet, under R, the 18th degree,
What did he say? He said the elders of this nation, what?
And I heard the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan say before that, we are babies. We are baby nation of Islam. Per the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself manifested that. We are baby nation of Islam. But we are wise children in this, right? So you got children that are wise, that are disciplined. You got some children that are unruly, etc. Right? But the measurement is like when you take 12, right? 1 and 2, the knowledge and wisdom. Then you take that 12. So we're looking at 12 inches, like a ruler, right? So initially in the supreme mathematics or the living mathematics, the elders came up with 12 being ruler. And that's also a teaching in the Nation of Islam.
What the hell are you? What? So he said originally in the supreme mathematics, 12 was ruler? Yo, bro. Bro, hold on. Maybe I heard wrong. Maybe I heard wrong.
A ruler, right? So initially in the supreme mathematics or the living mathematics, the elders came up with 12 being ruler.
Bro, who the hell are you talking about? Who are these elders? Allah is the one that came up with supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets. Yo, stop it.
And that's also a teaching in the Nation of Islam, right? And Allah the Father put it in the alphabet, under R, the 18th degree. Rule is a guide that the black man uses to keep everything right and exact, right? So even though we are babies in this, when you're a baby and you come into the science of the Nation of Islam, you become a student enrolled, right? And one of the things they teach you in FOI class, right, is really to, as the father put it, do the knowledge, right? Look, listen, observe, and respect. So the first law or the first rule of civilization is obey Allah and the messenger. Obey Allah, the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has represented to us, which is Master Prophet Muhammad, and the messenger being the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So these brothers are the pillars of the teachers of the Nation of Islam as far as civilization goes, right? So one of the differences is that
all right, so
when
I let him talk, and I was waiting for him to get back to this. And peace to the God, Almighty to the divine.
Peace, God.
God, this for you. Indeed. And so like I was saying, right quick, is that I let the video play because when he said just like the elders talk about knowledge is Master Farah Muhammad, wisdom is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What he didn't say is that um and that Allah is the understanding. I was waiting for that. Because I mean, I've heard that before. You know, people be like, oh yeah, Master Farah Muhammad, he's the knowledge, Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the wisdom, Allah is the understanding. He didn't say that part. So peace, Almighty. How you living, Lord? Are you stuck? Oh yeah. All right, so we gonna some Divine said, I have a few of Wesley Muhammad's books. He's a good author. I don't think he teaches this Muslim God fallacy. Wesley Muhammad is on some black God stuff. And he is, I mean, I'm not gonna speak for him, but he's in the Nation of Islam and tries to, he says, I forgot what he says his name is, that he got the knowledge and then he got his flag and he earned his flag and he ain't never going to look. As soon as you pick up another flag and carry that flag, y'all need to stop mixing and diluting. Wesley is a student of Wakil. Yeah. So G, I'm doing like I told you, I'm doing a reaction to these two brothers talking about Allah. Their title is "Who Made Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, a deity of worship among the 5%ers?" And I automatically said I had a problem with the title, but we're about 10 minutes in to the video, and clearly I had a lot to say. So just going to play it, and whenever you want to comment, just let me know, and I'll pause it. All right.
Coming into the temple, such as a Malcolm X, such as a Farrakhan, Muhammad Ali, and all these other illustrious greats, including the father. When they came in, they were all, meaning that they were there, just as it says in Muslim, they submitted. So I remember I asked Shahid, the elder, I said, God, because God, I could just get into it. Like the elders, firstborns, I would ask those kind of questions. I said, God, why did y'all appear in the latter years of the 5%ers that lack discipline? Why did y'all abuse drugs? Why did y'all abuse, alcohol in that sense? And I said, is that what y'all were doing when y'all was in the temple? Because some
all right. One thing they always go back to is that Allah's 5% drink and smoke. Some of Allah's 5% drink and smoke. You see, and they like to spin it to where we don't have discipline, right? And that's why one of the lives I did is does Allah's 5% lack discipline? You see, it's a lot harder to be God than it is to be a Muslim, and you have a leader that tells you what to do. It's a lot harder. Clearly, because yeah. You got anything to say about that? What he just said?
God, we are not religious. We come from the ghettos of hell. So you're gonna see brothers smoking, drinking, and drugging, and a lot of other terrible things. Because we come from the ghettos of hell. I don't smoke nor drink, but I did before I had knowledge of self.
Indeed.
And I was 12 years old drinking, but I got knowledge of self and I cut that out because that wasn't for me. There's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger. They might have an understanding of that in a different way of how I look at that. I look at Muhammad as being a messenger, and Allah is the black man. Now, Clarence 13X Smith, we already know And he left that behind when he left the mosque.
Indeed.
Because he was teaching that the black man is God, and he couldn't teach that in the mosque or the temple. So he went on his own. He put one foot in front of the other. Mayor Lindsay gave him a law school in Mecca in 1967. And 1964, when he left the mosque, he realized that he was the Allah and not the servant of Allah or the messenger of Allah. And I told you before, W.F. Muhammad was born in 1877. He said he would return on his 87th birthday. That 87th birthday is 1964. 1964 is when the father came to the realization that he was Allah in the eyes of God, not in the eyes of a Muslim. Because I told you before, he left that Clarence 13X Smith in the mosque or the temple. He realized he was Allah. And a lot of people didn't like him. A lot of people did not like him when he said that.
Indeed. So peace, true self, smell goods, peace. These are live, wise lives I love. Hey yo, true self, this for you. Be right back. Allah makes himself a deity. We didn't make Allah a deity. He made himself one. The same way I made myself a deity. Deity just means God. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't use the word deity.
Some people report it like that.
Right.
They say y'all was in the temple doing these same things. Then when I left the temple, y'all went out there and y'all started dealing with them vices with the youth and yourselves. He was like, Wakil, emphatically no. He said, brother, when we was in the temple, this is his words. We were as pure as the driven snow. Me and the father. Yeah. And I was like, damn, it's interesting. Then I sat with Queen Mother Dora, the father's wife, and I asked her about it. She was like, discipline all the way in the mosque. She said, all the way, brother, all the way. You wouldn't touch nothing, no drink, no smoke, none of that. So they saying that, they lying, right? Now she said, now after that, things got a little different. After he left the temple, but being in the temple, they didn't indulge and practice these things. Because they already did it prior to coming in the temple. Right. So I say all that to say,
I can agree with that.
Right. You're looking at the father, he was exposed to the knowledge really in the 50s. Because what people don't understand, it's like that book, Man, Child in the Promised Land, where he talks about Harlem in the 1950s and the scene going on, uptown, right, 125th Street, etc. Right. And he said at the time, talk of the town was the Nation of Islam and the teachings. So you had people out there teaching the history of Yaqub, teaching everywhere that we Muslim, we righteous, we black, we the gods, white man is the devil, the whole shebang, the messenger of Allah, etc. So
people
as the father being a resident of Harlem, he was also exposed to these teachings, because way before the 5%ers came, there was other quote unquote 5%ers. Before the father was even, I'm talking about brothers that was in the temple, and for whatever reason, they found themselves out of the temple, right? When you study the temple, number 7 in the history, Les Matthews, who was a reporter for the Amsterdam News, he said that there was over at least like 5,000 members of the Nation of Islam due to attrition that was out in the community in New York. You know what I mean? Meaning you come in and you go out. And that's why when you got a brother like Brother Clarence, he's the 13th Clarence. Right. So he became Clarence 13X. It's funny because I knew the brother after him who was Clarence 14X, who's actually part of the group that sang Ooh Child. That brother Clarence, he was Clarence 14X.
Okay.
I think the stair steps they were called. But then you look at Brother Justice, a foresight for Akbar, like Allah and Justice, aka James 103X, how? So he was the third, James, like they call him Brother Jimmy. So you just imagine Abu Shahid, who was John, he was John 37X, John 37X Brooks. So you can imagine how many Johns, how many Jimmys, how many Clarences, how many Michaels was in the temple, how many Malcolms was in the temple. So they said it was over 5,000 people that, due to attrition, was somewhere out in the street or in the community with this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was they in the streets of New York, but they also was in the prison system.
Right.
So I say all that to say that the father initially was exposed to it.
How does that make them 5%ers?
Per what I've been told in research with the brothers that was there with him, through a group of brothers that was out in the community, and it was right over there by the law school. It was like behind.
Okay, all because they were out of the nation due to attrition. Like he said, that doesn't make all because they had the knowledge what they do with it. That don't make you a 5%er. Did they teach anyone?
The Apollo, and they would be behind the Apollo. The history is history. They'd be behind the Apollo doing anything. They'd be teaching, but they still would engage in street activity, gambling, etc.
Yeah,
and that's how.
Yeah, I heard people say that justice was never in the temple either.
That was in the 50s, like the late 50s.
Late 50s, okay.
Right, and then he went to the service because the way it sounds, when you hear the history, it's like, oh well. The father joined in 1960, like he never heard of it all of a sudden. And that wasn't true. Like all of a sudden he heard it, like he knew what a Muslim was.
Right. So he went to he was in the temple first and then the military?
No, he wasn't in the temple. So he was just on the street. So just like somebody would hear from you and I out on the street, that's how he heard it.
Right. Because I was thinking, like, once he heard the knowledge and he, came into the fold or whatever, he had already did the military, all of that was prior.
Right.
And now this is Nation of Islam.
Right. Well, but the way that I was taught by the family is that he had knowledge before he went to the service, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to the service.
Just hearing it around.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But and that was a question that I had.
Came back, he joined.
Right. When he came back, the difference was his wife and his mother-in-law was full-fledged members of the Nation of Islam now.
Oh, wow.
So when he came back, it was like, oh, okay, this is the real deal. Right. This is what it is, right? Okay. And so they dropped the knowledge on him, and then he came and he joined the temple, and that was in 1960. So I would say he was exposed to the knowledge itself in the 50s, then became certified and joining the Fruit of Islam under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1960. So from 1960 to 1964, like before March of 1964, is when he ended up leaving the temple, so to speak. So you had the other elders.
About 4, so that would be 4.5 years, maybe 4.5 years.
Right, while he was in the temple, right. Okay. Right. But again, for them, it was an accelerated process because they submitted. Okay. See God, and I tell brothers, because I heard a brother say this, one of the brothers from the Nation of Gods and Earth, and he didn't know the father like that, but he was around when the father was around. And he said that the father never was really like in the temple. You know what I mean? And he would just go every now and again, right? But God, that's not true.
Yeah, I know that.
He was one of the ones that practically lived in the damn temple. because the father, he stayed, the temple was on 116th Street, and the father stayed on 112th Street, in the projects. And they were called, I think, foster projects.
We're not Muslims, God.
That's
he left that.
So he was 4 blocks right there.
That Clarence
from the mosque. He really walk out the mosque.
And when he was in the military, he did not have no knowledge.
You had a spot.
Yeah.
You said when he was in the military, what?
He did not have no knowledge. He was no. He gained wisdom. Yeah. He gained wisdom when he went to the mosque, and his wife was not in his corner when he taught that he's a father of the Nation of Gods and Earth.
Indeed. Yeah. So yeah, I just
Are they still live with you, or is that a recording?
Oh, that's a recording.
Oh.
Yeah, that video was yeah, no, they didn't record. They didn't record with me because I would have been like, "Hold on, yeah, nah, that ain't the truth."
Yeah,
yeah. So this is a recording. This is a reaction.
I thought you was live with them. I thought you was live with them. Okay.
Nah, we're live doing recording, listening to them and then we're giving our reactions and
Right.
talking about what they're saying.
So he was there mostly every day because he made a living there.
Right.
So he sold the paper. I mean, literally for a living.
Right.
He sold the papers, and he worked for Earth Painters Improvement Company, which was a mosque affiliated business in which they were like renovating homes.
Okay.
So that's what he did for a living, selling papers and working for the mosque. And God, he was
hustling.
Well, yeah, he had to be in the temple like every day because I don't want to say that he had a post like that, like some people say lieutenant, etc.
Right.
But he was very, he was on post a lot, like on post for Minister Malcolm and all that, and attended, all of the FY classes, and that's how he became so sharp, in the lessons. You know what I mean?
So
he became so sharp like that.
Malcolm made a statement one time. It was quoted. Malcolm said, Brother Clarence would fare better out in the street.
Right.
Or, he,
right.
I guess because of, the recalcitrant behavior and just stuff, just disobeying direct orders or whatever and fraternizing with, just brothers out in the street,
right.
The hood niggas.
Right.
1 minute,
Yeah,
facts.
Huh?
1 minute. I got to answer this phone.
All right. Is this? Oh, it's on YouTube. Jeweler TV. It's on YouTube. Or Jeweler. It's on YouTube. The title is right there. Who made Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, a deity of worship among the 5%ers? Yeah, I don't know why the hell they said that. Because we don't worship Allah. Like, the people that I've come in contact with, I build with that are in Allah's 5% don't worship Allah. You see, and if those people do worship him, those are the 85 that's amongst us. They're not the 5%. All right.
Brother Malcolm said, Brother Clarence would fare better out in the street. Have you heard that?
Definitely.
Yeah, and guess what? He did fare better out in the streets. He created his own nation that's still here to this day. So, that's coming from someone that they said was a baby in the knowledge. They said the father was a baby in the knowledge. Yeah, clearly they have no understanding.
Absolutely. And that's reported from Les Matthews. Les Matthews reported that Malcolm said that. Now, we don't have the exact quotes from Minister Malcolm saying that, but via secondhand information that was reported in the Amsterdam News, Les Matthews, who's a very, busy reporter, a black man in Harlem that pretty much known the whole beat of Harlem, reported on a lot of things. He reported on father, he reported on justice, while they were still amongst us, right? He reported on the 5%. So he was like the go-to person for like the media in the Amsterdam News as it related to like nationalism and the 5%ers, the Nation of Islam, etc. So yeah, but Brother Malcolm allegedly is to have said that, but there's different theories as to why the father left the temple, and I think I've heard just about all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it don't matter.
I might have heard about one or two, I think.
Yeah, I've heard.
There's many floating around, you know what I'm saying?
It don't matter.
So
they didn't
Malcolm
want him to teach the black man was
Brother
God.
Malcolm and Brother Clarence weren't too fond of each other.
Yeah, it depends, right? Because it was Brother Malcolm that woke him up, right?
Okay.
Then, of course, Malcolm.
Well, yeah. So the history that was revealed to me is that Allah and Malcolm had a good relationship, and and if they didn't have a good one, that was probably in the mosque. You see what I'm saying? And so once they got out of the mosque, it's reported that they hung out. They not hung out, but met up for lunch and built together, and had conversations and stuff. So I never got the knowledge that Allah and Malcolm didn't get along. You see, so maybe that's the case, but I've never heard that. Well, besides them saying this.
Malcolm was going through a few of his changes, in the Nation of Islam.
Right.
And I guess people kind of peeped. There
Peace,
might have been
Shallah,
some doubt
unique.
or hypocrisy on Malcolm's part that would lead some of the diehards to be like, oh, maybe Malcolm is slipping a little bit or whatever. But I think really,
Jeweler, you're saying who is he speaking to? You talk about with these guys? So this is Wakil, and this is Brother Fahim. And so they like to view themselves as 5%ers, and but but they also say that they're Muslim gods. So if you ever heard the term Muslim gods, the one to the left, Wakil right here, from the history that was revealed to me, is that he's the founder of the Muslim god. You see, so the one in the black shirt with the without the hat, Wakil, the history that was revealed to me, he's the founder of the Muslim gods down in Atlanta.
Peace.
More of, if anything,
peace,
more
G.
of.
You had something to say?
Again, how they manifest, there's no God but Allah. Muhammad is the messenger, is maybe not how I see it. My manifestation of that is he's a Muslim. He's a messenger. He's not Allah.
Indeed. I agree with that.
The estrangement came after Malcolm X left, I believe. But the father, based on what I understand, based on what I was taught.
Go ahead, G.
Even though the Nation of Islam studied the Milan Ali Muhammad Quran, when you read the Yusuf Ali Quran, it says pagan Arabs in black and white. So if it's pagan Arabs, there's something that's overlooked, being that knowledge is infinite. And the Arabs and the rest of them, there's a bunch of devils. And they sold out people into slavery. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, there was Arabs before their conversion to Islam. Before that religion that is known as Islam, there was Arabs, and the Cabal had different deities in there. I think I don't know if it was like 12 or.
They're the same ones that will tell you they worship the sun, but we teach we don't worship the sun. We realize that the sun is relative to the black man's mind.
Indeed.
It's redundant. I say it over and over and over again. I've been down this road before. He's Muhammad. Let him be Muhammad. He ain't no God. He's a messenger. You can't be God and the messenger. You can't pray 5 times a day to a rock and be God.
Yeah.
That doesn't make no sense.
Don't make sense to me either.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt the cipher. Whatever you want to share about this individual, go right on ahead. But if you want me to be a part of the cipher, I'm going to interject my thoughts and put my cards on the table.
That's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point.
I'm going to put my cards on the table and be what it may, but no such thing as no Muslim gods. They tried to go to Colorado with that shit, and the gods that I taught out there shut that dumbass shit down. A part of my vocabulary, God.
No, it's speech, G. Yeah, no doubt. Hold on.
I thought that we wasn't out there. Some brothers actually leave the damn state and go build in other states.
The whole point in this is damn, why does it sound like that? Does my voice sound weird?
Minor, but nothing major.
Yeah, because I think I changed the yeah, hold on. I changed the thing. Anyways. So yeah, the whole point in doing this reaction is to get you know, our reaction to it and what they say. So anytime you want to say anything, you know, pertaining to what they're saying or, you know, clearing up anything, this is the point in doing this, right? Because people are still watching this video, and you know, there needs to be there have been rebuttals to it in the comments of their video, but yeah. So
Again, again and again and again and again. I don't pray 5 times a day to a rock because I'm more than the rock. I'm the mind, and this is the temple of the Father. So if the temple is within me, I am the great that I am. Not no damn temple, not no mosque. But if you're a Muslim and you into the mosque, that's your thing. All well and good. That's your world. That's not our world. That's not what we teach.
Indeed.
We accept no religion. As a 5%er, we accept no religion. I'm not looking for God in the sky. I'm not looking for God in the basement. I'm not looking for God in the Kabbalah, a Kaaba, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for God in that. I'm looking at God with a mirror. I'm looking at me when it comes to God. I'm looking within myself. I self-Lord am master. I stimulate life and matter. I study life around me. I do not pray 5 times a day to a rock because I'm more than a rock. I'm the mind. And this is the temple of the Father. At the parliament, they call me redundant God because I say it over and over and over and over again. And I meet 100 brothers and I say it over and over and over and over and over again. The same thing all the time.
Yep. So it can look.
God just dropped. That's why I said I don't know if the guys in here smoking right now, man.
I speak for the 5 Ascendancy, do.
Indeed. Divine said, Wakil being the founder of the Muslim God reminds me of the wisdom knowledge degree in the through the 23rd degree in 140. He's a Yakubian. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's science right there. The nation of
In the supreme wisdom. In the supreme wisdom said, there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger. I look at them lessons through the eyes of God. I do not look at them lessons through the eyes of a Muslim. I do not. His name was W.F. Muhammad. My name is Almighty True Divine Allah. But I can tell you about who W.F. Muhammad was and who he taught and what his purpose was from what I learned when he came to the wilderness of North America, why he changed his name several times to get the CIA off his back because they didn't want somebody from from out east to come over here to the wilderness of North America to free the lost sheep.
Indeed.
You know, over and over and over, be what it may. But you're a Muslim. You're a Muslim, yeah. You can't be a Muslim and God. We don't pray 5 times a day to no rock.
We don't pray
one time a day. All praise is due to the black man who is Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent Lord of the worlds, master of this day in judgment.
There you go, God. Feel God.
I'm not accepting Christianity, but I will tell you something about the Bible. I will tell you something about the Quran. Yes, who made the Holy Quran a Bible? How long ago? And we talk about Islam, reduces history every 25,000 years. And the Asiatic calendar. It's in there. It's Prego source. It's in there. It's all in there, God. No, man, I'm not accepting that. We was under religion. That's why they say assalamu alaikum. We say peace. But when we speak in an English manifestation, assalamu alaikum means peace be unto you, my brother, if I'm not mistaken. But who's our brother? Who's actually our brother? Because jungle fever ain't what we teach. And them Arabs, according to the Yusuf Ali Quran in black and white states, pagan Arabs. So how in the hell are they our brothers? The whole world sold a black man into slavery, dealing with that Atlantic slave trade. And them people got their fist, they got their foot in the shores of Africa. And that's our land. Even Farrakhan said it one time. They fighting over our gold and our oil and our diamonds.
Indeed.
From our forefathers. And we prove it through DNA, because DNA show and prove that we related.
Bill God.
Coming over here on a good ship, Jesus. Please. Please. You ain't looking for God in the sky. Nah, I'm not looking for God in the sky. They looking for God in the basement. I'm not looking for God in the basement.
Who was that?
Everybody say God, but everybody don't look at God as the black man. Some people are spooktified. Some people are spook worshippers. Some people are in the land of make-believe.
Indeed.
I'm not with that. I am not with it. That's not right.
True indeed.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. No, I'm not with it. I got no sword above my head. No, I'm not with it. I ain't no Shriner. No. What's born alive is the seventh sun, fertile crescent, and five-pointed star. And that fertile crescent is ours. Every square inch of the planet Earth belongs to the original man, not the Arab man, not the other man, not the Caucasus Asian man, but the original man. And that's the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the creator of planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. If you Muhammad, fine. You a messenger. Wonderful. I'm with you. I still like you. But no, when you try to denounce our father, I'm not with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that the father left the mosque because he couldn't teach the law as the black man in the mosque. It was only limited to certain people in the mosque or the temple. So he took it upon himself to go to the streets of hell to teach the babies, because the babies needed it the most. In the ghettos of hell. I know my history. I got knowledge of self in 1981, but you cannot take it away from me that I've been here since 1981. And you will not be hitting me with some uppercuts that I don't see coming from a mile away. You ain't gonna hit me with it, because I'm not gonna let you hit me with it.
Peace to the God.
I speak for the five.
That's what I'm talking about. Almighty, true and living God. So Jeweler said the Nation of Islam teaches the Prophet Muhammad was a white man. I heard Elijah say that. I don't bear witness to wide-killed nonsense about Muslim gods or his book. Yeah, I don't either. According to the Hadiths, he was a white man. I just think he was a pale Arab, not white as in European. We will never know because it's haram in Islam to have pictures of the Prophet. Yeah. NYP talk show. Yeah. Right and exact, God. True indeed.
W.F. Muhammad was a prophet. He was a half original through the blood mixture. Baby G was a Caucasian.
They're talking about the prophet 1,500 years ago.
Oh, Ibn Abdullah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he the one that made the devil study from 35 to 50 years.
Oh no, not him. Muhammad, the prophet of Islam.
Okay, there's so many Muhammads, but I do know Muhammad Ibn Abdullah. Ibn Abdullah Muhammad was the one that made the devil study from 35 to 50 years, and the one that was taking 4 devil's heads was. I had a lesson on that. I don't know if it was right or if it wasn't right, but I was reading a plus lesson or a history lesson on H.A.J. Muhammad, pronounced Ha-Ha. Ha-Ha Muhammad was taking devil's heads, just like Saladin.
Yeah.
In the old Crusade War.
Through the eyes of God, exactly. When a cat gives birth to a kid in the oven, those are not muffins. True indeed. I can tell no one who W.F. Muhammad was. I could tell the story that was taught. For you truth, there's too many mysteries and far story for me to say I know his history. Yeah, it's not important. You know, the proof is in the pudding. The only person who can speak about W.F. Muhammad is Elijah. No, W.F. Muhammad had other students. You know, he was a person that people met.
Thank you,
what's the purpose of this bill today? The purpose is we reacting to a video that was made and so we're getting it clear. You see what I'm saying? So we're getting this clear. So yeah. Oh shit! Damn it!
Thank you.
Right. But they had some love for Malcolm, you know what I mean? And Shaheed, you know, had love for Malcolm in a sense. But after he left, some of the things that he said as related to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think people took issue with that. And maybe there was a bit, maybe stay away from Malcolm type vibe, you know, because of what was going on. But I don't think there was any animosity between, you know, the father of law or the 5 percenters as it pertained to Brother Malcolm.
With the elders, you know, who would you say was, I guess, in the temple longer between, you know, Abu Shaheed and the father and Habika, and you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because I was about to say, old man Justice was exposed to the knowledge before he met the father. You know what I mean? In fact, the brothers told me,
like, was before he joined in the temple, before I know he was exposed to it before he met, but as you mentioned, you know, all you know, black brothers in the hood back in Harlem during that time was exposed to it. But what did he join the temple before? I mean, after?
So peace. My voice, I don't know why my voice is sounding weird. I think it's because I pushed some buttons and it messed it up. So, oh no, yeah, yeah, peace. All right, cool. How many Muhammads are in 120? I know you have Fard, Elijah, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, and also in a 1 to 10 and a 1 to 14, it's about Mehmet the second. Indeed, God. What's the video? The video is who made Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, a deity of worship amongst the 5%. This video was made like 2 years ago. So in the born degree, the 1 to 14 is about Muhammad ibn Abdullah, and the 10 is about Mehmet II from the Ottoman Empire. All right. Like I said, shit, did it again. Like I said, I started early, so because I had to get
person,
stuff
you know, he had the ability to, you know, he was civilized.
Right.
So, like for instance, Minister Akbar Muhammad, who many people think Minister Akbar and the father was at each other's throat or whatever.
Right.
He was like, no, and I've interviewed Minister Akbar. He was like, no, brother, that's not the truth.
Yeah, they were good.
He said, when I would see him, he said, you know, the father would be out, you know, out in the street.
He said,
give me the greeting, salam alaikum. I was like, walaikum salam, you know.
Yeah.
And that is what I get from most of the Muslims, Minister James Najee, like most of the Muslim brothers that was in the temple at the time that I met with and spoken to. None of them had any ill will toward the father, it seems, or justice. Like I never heard any of them speak like, oh, it was a hypocrite. Like not one. So there's a lot of myth around, you know, like somebody reported like Captain Yusuf Shah to chase the father down the street. That's an outright lie.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, brother, that's an outright lie. You know, chase the gods down the street.
I never heard that.
One. Brother, you know what I mean?
That sounds funny.
That might have been put there by the government, you know, counterintelligence.
Yeah, that sounds like, But when you hear stuff that's too outlandish, it's like, you know what I mean?
Right. But they had some love for Malcolm, you know what I mean? And Shaheed, you know, had love for Malcolm in a sense. But after he left, some of the things that he said as related to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think people took issue with that. And maybe there was a bit, maybe stay away from Malcolm type vibe, you know, because of what was going on. But I don't think there was any animosity between, you know, the father of law or the 5 percenters when it pertained to Brother Malcolm.
With the elders, you know, who would you say was, I guess, in the temple longer between, you know, Abu Shaheed and the father and Habib?
I don't know why they keep saying that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
This dude is,
because I was about to say, Justice,
Abu Shaheed,
old man Justice was exposed to the knowledge before he met the father. You know what I mean? In fact, the brothers told me,
like, was before he joined in the temple, before I know he was exposed to it before he met, but as you mentioned, you know, all you know, black brothers in the hood back in Harlem during that time was exposed to it. But what did he join the temple before? I mean, after the father?
You know what? I can't say. I don't know for certain. But I know he met his wife like around 1960, 1961. That was in the temple. Justice did.
I know he has a son named Elijah. I think
Right.
he from the sister he met in the temple.
Right.
From what I heard.
Right, the great Elijah. That's an actual fact.
Right.
That's an actual fact.
Okay.
So, and you know, Justice named him his son after Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
You know, his mother told me that. So that's a fact.
They
So
price
there was love
gouge.
there. You know, all this, you know, these myths that developed later. You know what I mean?
Brothers swear he never went foot there.
But no, Justice definitely was. Definitely was. Because, like I said, his wife tells the different accounts and the stories or whatever.
Right.
But Justice was a merchant seaman. Okay. So he was always, you know, working and going overseas, etc. Right. So Justice, of all of them, he was the one that was least in the temple.
Like in the military, you mean, like a merchant marine?
No, he was like a merchant marine, but not in the military, just you know, like on a private industry business side. Okay. He was just a merchant seaman for whatever private company.
Okay.
But yeah, he was exposed to the knowledge of self like in the 50s too. Because the brother that told me, Brother Wali Muhammad, aka Walter 6X, and he was peace with both of them. So he dropped a lot of history on me. As it relates to the both of them. He said, I remember when putting it.
Come again, Lord.
I was talking to myself. Why is he getting history of them from Muslims? And hold on, did he say pudding? Ain't no what? Muslims calling Allah pudding? Stop it.
As it relates to the both of them, he said, I remember when putting.
That wasn't in his time. That was after the fact when he left the mosque because he was putting niggas in their place.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that don't sound right. A Nation of Islam member call Allah pudding. That's what his mama, that's a nickname his mama gave him. Pudding? Stop.
Like that. You know what I mean? He said, because we used to teach all of them. He said they became partners, you know, once Pudding was in the temple and they became close. Yeah. He said they really became close after Pudding left the temple and started that school over there, he was saying. Yeah. So but in Justice.
They can call. Oh, gee, yeah. Hold on. Mute that. That's hella loud.
Say that again, Lord.
It was your background was hella loud.
Oh, the ambulance.
Mehmet sought and went to war with Vlad the Impaler, the one they called Dracula. I was taught that the 110 was about Mehmet. And when Mehmet went to war with Vlad the Impaler, Mehmet had Vlad's brother with him. And they were on some,
You got another pen on us today? This pen red.
Hold on, I'm gonna put you on mute, G. So Mehmet. Now the story is that they was on some he cipher, monkey cipher shit. So Born You Truth, I haven't found any evidence of Mehmet taking culture devils' heads off. I saw the video of Allah Real, and he said that old man Justice was never in the mosque. Yeah, so with Brother Fahim, he's saying that Minister Freedom and I forgot the brother's name, Ciela, or forgot the part himself, I forgot his name. They checked him on that. They was like, Justice said, or Allah Real said Justice was never in the mosque. And unless you calling Allah Real a liar, then it's some So,
sister, the fathers. Well, first I would say, the first sister that he had children by, Sister Waleen. She was giving me the history of Justice too. She said Justice was always around. I think she probably knew Justice before the father. Mm-hmm. But he was like a fixture in the Harlem community. Okay. Like I said, at that point it was hip. If you wasn't a Christian, you was claiming to be a Muslim.
Right.
At that point, I mean, that was really about the only thing you could really do.
Yeah.
because that was like the only game in town per se.
There was no
with the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And you know, Hebrew Israelite, and it was none of
right. You were conscious.
Yeah.
It was like Nation of Islam conscious, sparked by the Nation of Islam.
You see,
mostly, mainly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was some time back. I think it might have been a year back. I did recording a reaction video, or at least I started to do it on this video a while ago, and I just could never finish because just the bullshit that they was talking in the beginning. I could never finish the video, so I've never finished this video, and I think you know, since so much they said, um, you know, just you know, disrespecting Allah and you know, trying to devalue his impact. I'm gonna just leave it right there. I'm gonna leave that right there because you know, if y'all want to listen to the rest of that, go look it up. It's who made Allah? Who? No, that's what I would. Well, I wouldn't even ask that question. Who made Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, a deity to worship in the 5%? And so clearly, even with that title, they've got it messed up because we don't do that. And yeah, damn, yeah, my voice sounds hella weird, man. Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, man, this I don't know what the hell's wrong. Anyways, yeah, so calling Allah Clarence 13X. Like I said earlier, you know, that's a part of his history, right? But you wouldn't call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay. You wouldn't call Elijah Muhammad Elijah Poole. You wouldn't call Louis Farrakhan Louis Walcott, or some shit like that. So, you know, to call Allah Clarence 13X, and he left that behind. You know, he's not a Muslim. You see, he knows who he is. So his name can't be X anymore. It's not unknown. He's shown and proved who he was. You know, and just to kind of you know, I don't know if I'm gonna do the second part of the video. I don't even, you know, I kinda like where on my True Divine is. It's like what's even the point? You know, just don't. Yeah, yeah, they're just regurgitating poor knowledge and misinformation. True indeed. You see, and so there's really no point in watching more of it because it's just like, I mean, it's I didn't like the title. That's the first thing. You see, I didn't like the title. I didn't like, you know, their subject matter. I didn't like none of that. Peace, God. So you know, I finished because a lot of that stuff that they were talking about, it was like, all right, man, like half the video was, you know, half the video I didn't agree with. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff they're saying. I mean, some okay, I understand, you know, but yeah, it's yeah, I didn't need to go any further. Hold on, G, I'm a mute because the background. Yeah, so I didn't need to go any further with that. You know, and that's about where I went. So Almighty, when you're ready, just wave your hand and I'll mute you. And so that's about where I was at, you know, when I first did a recording to react to the video like a year ago or whatever. just in case y'all want to know why I'm reacting to something old, is that people still watching it. People is still looking at it, right? And so, they are telling our history like they know it. Like they 5%ers, man. And so one thing I'ma say is that, you know, um, I'm not here to police anyone. I'm not here to restrict anyone, right? Uh, if you saying you're a 5%er, right? And like these brothers, the ones that was doing the vid, they said they're 5%ers, right? And and they picked up another flag, right? Then once you start saying, oh, you know, I'm a Mason, I'm this, I'm a Moor, I'm a Christian, I'm Muslim God, all this. Look, people say you can't serve two masters, right? And I'm not gonna go that far because this ain't my master anyway, right? I would say don't wave two flags, because you know, on my post, I'm a 5%er. I'm not gonna say I'm nothing else because of course I'm a father, I'm a brother, uncle, all that other stuff, right? Um, but there's no other ideology I'm dealing with. You see, no school of thought. This is my culture, right? And so in my culture, I'm not mixing anything else in this, trying to get people to come on my side. You see what I'm saying? You know, uh, you know, God told me God gets his man, the devil gets his man. And that's the science right there. See what I'm saying? And so um just make sure you don't cause confusion. If you're saying you a 5%er, be the 5%, man. Be the 5%. Know what the hell you're talking about. Know what you talk about. You see? Explain what? I take it this is I Supreme on New York Perspective Talk Show, NYP Talk Show. What do you mean? Explain what? Or I guess, not I guess, but God's get his man, the devil gets his man. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Whoever, you see, there's no middle. You're not going to be on the fence. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you attracted to, whatever direction you going, that's who you gonna get. God gets his man, the devil gets his man. You see, the 85, easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead in the right. Hold on, let me unmute you, G. Oh, I thought you had something to say. Um, and so, yeah, God gets his man, the devil gets his man. You see what I'm saying? And so, were you saying something, Almighty?
Got us on the TV, and me and my home attendant is bugging because I got my this paper on the wall, and I was showing her the paper on the wall. So I didn't want to interrupt the cipher. That's why I didn't say anything.
Okay.
But all right here, and it was on a TV. I was like, "What's that right there on the TV?" He said, "That's right there," because my phone was on the bed. Was on the bed when we were moving.
Okay. So whatever you attracted to, whatever, I know people that once they hear about this knowledge, most of their question is about Yakub. You see, oh, Go ahead, G.
I'm with you. I'm doing the knowledge.
Oh, I thought you waved your hand.
Nah, I'm just moving the phone because I'm tired of holding it. I'm sitting down. I'm not laying in the bed. It's just that I'm tired of holding it. So I'm putting it on a pillow, and I'm trying to have it face me without it falling on the bed. See, it's facing me now.
Indeed. So Shala said, right and exact is just like someone carry a blood flag and a crip flag, causing confusion. Yeah.
But I'm not a blood nor a crip. I'm wearing blue. I'm not a crip.
Don't get almighty started.
When I go Labor Day, when y'all see me at Labor Day parade, you see me wear the universal flag, and you see me throw up the Panamanian flag, and I throw that up for a reason.
True indeed.
It might not be a good enough reason for a lot of people, but there's a reason why
those two don't contradict themselves. You see, your family Panamanian.
True indeed.
That's not saying I'm with the Panamanian church, or I'm with the Panamanian free thought school or whatever, and then saying, oh yeah, this is a part of the 5%. You see, yeah, causing confusion. How often do you go through 120 by yourself to make sure you never forget it? I would say I strive to do it every day. So in a week, I would probably go through it 4 or 5 times a week. The whole 120. I hold on. Let me mute. So I was never the kind of person to just go through just a section. So um, ever since I had 120, I I went through the whole thing. Or even when I was learning, I would quote all the way to the part and to the new degree that I was, And so, like I said, I strive to do it at least 4 or 5 times a week. Yakub is heavily in the 1 through 40, though. Yeah, so depending on the degrees that you get, right? You got the 1 to 10, you got either the 1 to 14 or the 1 to 30. I got the 1 to 36 next. Then I got the 1 to 14. So by the time you get to the 1 to 40, that's half of the degrees right there. Now, sure, Yakub is mentioned in certain degrees, but you said it's heavily. Yeah, I mean Yakub is in what? Soon as you get to the wisdom knowledge through, I mean, then in the understandings you get the devil, or the understanding of the ciphers, you get the devil. It's not. He's not like a. So, like I said, if if um if most of your questions is about Yakub and showing and proving Yakub and doing all that, I then know where your mindset is. You see what I'm saying? So, if you asking, okay, well, how my God? How is the original man God? How is the black, brown, and yellow all original? You see, those kind of questions, I know where you can tell a person in their state of mind by the questions they ask, especially coming into this knowledge. You see? And I've had both. There's a whole bunch of people that ask me about Yakub. There's a whole bunch of people. Yeah, that's Elijah's teachings, though. That's Elijah's teaching. So, going there you go. There you go. So, a lot of, so all those in-depth questions about Farad, Yakub, look, that's Elijah. If you want to know all that, look up Elijah. Look up what he said. See, Elijah's not my foundation. Forward's not my foundation. So when they say the knowledge, wisdom is forward and Elijah, look, Allah is my foundation. You see, because when I trace back my tree, I end it at Allah. You see, I don't go to Malcolm and then Elijah. I don't do that. I don't do that because they're not the founder of my nation. Yes, sir. I used to go through it every day in the AM. Lately, been kind of lackadaisical. I need to get that fire back under my feet. Yeah. For me, I like to do it early in the morning. I like to do it early in the morning because I'm up at like 4 a.m. So I like to do it early in the morning and do it like that. And then it so God, you're off mute.
Okay, I'm still doing the knowledge. I'm with you. Playing around with the phone, trying to position it on the bed. But I'm with you.
Yeah, like I told you before I start the live, I got stuff to do, so it wasn't going to be a long one, and that's why I need to start it earlier. So if you got Divine said I see your fly regalia.
See your what?
Your fly regalia.
Fly I forgot Galia you called it?
Regalia.
Regalia. I don't even understand what you mean.
It's I mean, I guess you could say it's a modern term from emblem, I guess. Matter of fact, that's not right and exact. Let me, give you the right and exact meaning. Oh, yeah, emblems. The emblems are insignia of royalty, especially the crown. And yeah, so um I did say emblems and stuff. So
Okay, I just show love, God. I'm not a gang member. I never was a gang member. I never will be a gang member. And if I have to manifest the same word 100 times again, I'll do it again. I don't claim no set. I never was a gang member. I never will be a gang member. And I'm a native New Yorker. We wear clothes.
So NYP talk show. I'm studying every day, early morning. I'm about to go in more though. I just don't want to end up a 5% bot. What's a 5% bot? I never heard of that. And so I'm gonna give it about like 10 more minutes, G, and then I'm gonna end it because I was actually going to go somewhere, but time was ticking so quickly that I stayed home, and then I'm leaving after. So because I wouldn't have been able to make it in time. Wise, wise and true divine, like the new dynamic duo. True indeed.
The America need to learn from us because you're literally looking at the East Coast unifying with the West Coast.
True indeed. You see, one mind though.
Right,
See,
exactly.
I don't got the NGE West. You see what I'm saying? And so, we won. I'm able to turn up where all I talk about is degrees and nothing else. Me? Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you because the brothers I taught, uh, we don't just talk about degrees. We talk about, you know, uh, things in life. You see what I'm saying? So we're not just quoting degrees. You'll find a whole bunch of stuff in the degrees that you could talk about without having to quote the degrees. You see what I'm saying? Just like mathematics, right? You know, me and the God Savior knowledge rarely say what's today's mathematics to each other. But in our conversation, if you know the language of the 5%, you would know that we're building on the mathematics. But we don't gotta ask, oh, what's today's mathematics? I mean, you can, but if you pay attention to a conversation, you will definitely see at least our conversation, his and I conversation.
Everybody that I give knowledge yourself to, I teach them to put that into the everyday conversation.
True indeed. True indeed.
That's why you're always supposed to add on to your mathematics. Every day, every year you have a birthday. Every day we getting older, so you're supposed to broaden your horizon every day, mentally as well as physically. I know that sometimes easy to be said than done because sometimes we get set in our ways or we busy doing one thing that we neglect other things. So I understand, but we got to keep our head up and keep pulling each other up and keep on going forward. That's all I got to say about this. And teach what we can. We can't teach everybody, but we can teach what we can, and then keep it moving. People don't want it. We don't force our culture on nobody. Well, our culture is willingly. It's not forcefully. But if you're a part of this protocol, learn your lessons, teach your lessons. If you're really about this life, like how they say in the world, in the sleeping giants world, if you're about that life,
in the
you're
dead world.
about it. Yeah, you're about it. It's basically knowledge of self, knowledge of realization of who you are, in the science of saying I'm not a mystery spook, but you see my characteristics is skin of bronze, hair of wool, and feet fiery like a furnace. And I tell my family that I'm the son of man, and I'm one with my father. So what am I trying to tell you? Because there's something here that you ain't getting. That I'm striving to let you know that the temple of the Father is here. So if the temple of the Father is here, what am I trying to tell you? That I'm one with my Father, and I am the Son of Man. And when I say Son of Man, I'm referring to the light of man, and the root word for man is mind. And the young man is the Son of Man because he's the rebirth of man, and the root word for man is mind. So what am I trying to tell you? Oh yeah.
Indeed. So right quick, G. I take it this is I Supreme. So, but New York Perspective Talk Show says, Almighty True Divine, where are you at? Elon?
No, I'm in Mecca. I'm originally from Medina, though.
So, this brother right here does a talk show where gods and earths and Moors and other people, they come on and they interview them and stuff like that. So he's interviewed like the original, the guy from Medina, the original.
I know it would be original.
Yeah. So he interviewed
From
him.
Brownsville.
Yeah, true indeed. And Wise Asia, he interviewed a supreme ruler.
I think I've seen him before the internet.
Yeah, true indeed.
Because I travel the world on the internet. Or YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube became my new TV show. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. I travel the world on YouTube. And I be watching Africa big time. Because the 7th degree in our and our 114 tells us, why does the devil call our people African? And it speaks about the continent. So when you deal with DNA, you see that you're related to them people over there. And then you start realizing the Atlantic slave trade, the Berlin Conference. You start realizing, my uncle was brought over here by the trader Sir John Hawkins in 1555, which is 379 years ago from the date of this writing. You start realizing stuff like that. And my uncle is on our people that are elderly that was in there, it's closer to slavery. And then you deal with the Muslims and the Muslim sons and the, W.F. Muhammad came over here in the year of the Great Depression. You start putting things together if you study. Again, I study life around me. If you don't study, you don't learn. If you don't want to learn, you don't push forward. If you don't know, you can find out. You know what I'm saying? If you build with the right people, if you're a real builder, builders always build.
Shallah, you need Allah said
That's
peace.
Shallah, true to God said peace. That's Shallah from Nubia. I used to see him with Father Divine.
Indeed.
Shallah.
Yeah, so I was going to tell you, Supreme was the brother that was on clearing up the controversy and stuff when me and Darkim was on, like a couple of weeks ago. And then you hopped on and was like, and then we did the live after we cut that live off and did another one. So he was on the live on there, and so yeah, so I heard you say Far was half original. What makes him half original? Well,
the blood mixture. The blood mixture of Father Muhammad and the Caucasian baby G. But he had to be, how I see that, dealing with his name is W.F. Muhammad. He had to be camouflaged for he could infiltrate the CIA to come to the shores of North America to free the lost sheep. Because our forefathers and foremothers was the lost sheep when they were brought over here on a good ship Jesus to Jamestown, Virginia, to Jamestown Plantation. Check this one out. They have a Jamestown Plantation in Ghana, West Africa, and that's on the opposite side of the Atlantic Ocean. Check that out.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So again, James River, King James, Jamestown Plantation, 1610 and 1611, they rewrote the Bible. Back then, it was against the law for the black man, the black family to read. The penalty was death.
Yeah, they have a side rally. So Divine said, so half original just means biracial. Well, it depends on what you mean by biracial.
Black and white.
Yeah, because if you're saying biracial is black and Puerto Rican, that's just black and black. As we see it, as 5%ers, right? It's just original.
16 shades of black, 16 shades of brown, 16 shades of yellow. Black, brown, and yellow is one, and we all one.
All one. Yeah, so like I said, it just depends on what you mean by biracial. But yeah, like the guy said, black and white. Half original. And so when you was building about the Arabs, do you not consider them original?
Hell no. It's the Yusuf Ali Quran again. Here we go with Mr. Redundant God. Everybody at the parliament, that's what they call me, the redundant God. That's why I don't say nothing. But in Yusuf Ali Quran, it says pagan Arabs.
Yeah, they were
in black and white. It's in black and white. It said pagan Arabs.
Yeah,
in the
pagans.
Ali Quran.
Pagans just mean you worshiping a deity, a different deity than
Some people, the way people did not sell black people by themselves into slavery by themselves. They ripped, stripped, divided, conquered, colonized, and still is to this day of Africa. They ripped Africa into 55 different Africas. We have United States of America, but South Africa did not have United States of Africa. But South Africa has nuclear weapons. That's when black people owned nuclear weapons. But South Africa is not connected to the other 54 parts of Africa because it's been divided, conquered, colonized, ripped, stripped, and still till this day, they're getting away with that. God, do you know the diamond mines, God? They'll give that family $10 for finding a rock. a diamond ring, but he will take that same diamond ring, and you know damn well he's not gonna get no $10 for a goddamn diamond ring. And that's just one. That's just one commodity of Africa. Just one, and there's millions.
Go ahead.
There's millions of commodities, natural resources that Mother Africa has, which we call Asia. The devil calls Africa to try to divide us. He wants us to think that we all different. And that was the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So no, I ain't speaking. I ain't got nothing against the Muslims. I actually got a great deal of respect for W.F. Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I know when I'm quoting 120, I'm quoting the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the supreme wisdom, but I look at them lessons through the eyes of God, not through the eyes of, yes, sir, I'm a righteous Muslim. I'm not a righteous Muslim. I'm a righteous God.
All right. So before I end it, I'm gonna read these comments, and then I'll say what
I'm
I gotta
looking at it
say.
from my cell phone. I can barely see it because it's so
That's why I'm about
small
to
on
read
my
it.
phone. Yeah.
So Vine said I was taught there is no such thing as a half original in terms of race, and half original is more of a mindset. I don't agree with that. According to the UN, those Arab Arabians are white. Yeah, not all of them. In the 1930s, there were also Arab Nazis. I mean, yeah, you can have any kind of Nazi. Peace to the gods. Enjoy your math. Peace. Divine said, "Well, you have different color Arabs, some black, some brown, and some white. I met a few black cats from Yemen. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Arab, it's a population of people. It's not a color of people, right? So it's a population of people, and so just like people from, I mean, they will mix or whatever, but there's people in sub-Saharan Africa. They're all kind of considered. Um, well, that's where we it gets tricky, right? Because when you're talking about, hold on, I'm gonna read the other ones and then I'm gonna get to Rishi because what he said. So Bujan, peace to my big brother Bujan. This for you, G. So peace to the God, peace to the God, earth, and all civilized will. All is good with you and yours, beloved. They continue with theirs, so you already know we must do what we do, since all that above is controlled by who? Peace. So Calm Islamly, aka our dear brother Rishi, uh, the ethnic Arabs are white, and so okay, we can go with this in a couple of ways, right? So, um, America has, as far as a country, has the highest population of white people on Earth as a country, not a continent, a country. So there is no other country that has more white people on Earth than America does, and they're starting to lose that battle. So there's about half of the population of America is colored people, about half, right? And so let's say it's about 150 million people, give or take, right? And so with that being said, a lot of that is because they changed the demographics, or the racial discrimination, or not discrimination, description, right? And so that's why when you fill out anything to do with race, they ask you, are you Hispanic? But it got to be a specific Hispanic, right? And so they also include certain Hispanics as white. They include sub-Saharan Africans, aka some Arabs, as white, just to bolster up their population. I'm gonna say it again. Y'all can look it up. America has the most white people in the world as far as a country, right? No other country, no other white country comes close, right? Doesn't come close. Britain has like maybe 15, 16 million people, and not all of them are white. You see, so um, America is the third most populated country in the world. It's China, India, and then America. And so this, this idea, yeah, post USSR, because I mean that all got broken up, and even then you got, because the USSR, I mean Russia is a big ass country anyway. It's the largest country in the world, not by population, but by landmass, right? And so USSR, you got a whole bunch of those stands or Czech stands and all those other stands and shit. That was a part of that. And so, yeah, you got millions on top of millions. And even then, I don't even know if that's even touching it. And so, but yeah, so just factor in just based on the demographics and how they do that the they changed the definition of white, because remember, when they was going by Caucasians, there was I forgot the man's name, but he was because the Caucasus Mountains is in Asia, and so I think there was a Asian man that sued. This is early. This is like maybe late 1800s, early 1900s. He sued and said that he was a Caucasian, and because he couldn't get rights here, and so he was like, "Well, I'm Caucasian." You see what I'm saying? And so the definition of white can change, right? Because remember, Italians wasn't considered white, right? Irish wasn't considered white when they came to America. You see, a lot of these people had to assimilate into whiteness. And so, you got anything? Oh, hold on. Let me read these last ones. So if we go off the Abrahamic faith, they say the Arabs are descendant of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and Hagar. Hagar was African, so by that reasoning, the original Arabs were black.
Yeah, black.
Peace.
It's a good book to read. It's good to read. It's a good book to read that everybody should check out. Blacked Out Through Whitewash by Suzar.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely get that. You got anything to say before we end it, G?
Hey, God, I love us. Knowledge. Basically, knowledge is an infinite range of information, dealing with one's past, present, as well as future experience and experiences within life. Knowledge means to know, look, listen, learn, observe, and also to respect. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence, such as the black man is the foundation of his family, such as the sun is the foundation of the solar system. Knowledge is the key foundation that unlocks all doors from darkness to light. Knowledge is the concrete evidence that I stand on firmly. Knowledge is the absolute truth that is manifested by God. Knowledge is the compound word for know the ledge. Know the ledge. Hey, Raquel. Hey, know the ledge. Yeah, for you won't fall off the edge into the devil's so-called civilization, because the devil has trickery. He's a master of trickery and deception. He put traps out here for all of us, and ain't none of us exempt. You know what I'm saying? So the science is you got to know the ledge. You know what I'm saying? When I first got knowledge of self, my name was True Knowledge. True Knowledge be Allah. You understand what I'm saying? And I changed it to Almighty True Divine Allah. You know what I'm saying? Allah is our family name. You know what I'm saying? The father dropped that. He left that Clarence and 13X Smith in the mosque when he realized he was the Allah. And he stood alone when he said he was Allah, because everybody was against him. They didn't like you God, you Allah. They didn't like that.
True indeed.
They said you couldn't teach that here. So we not under no secret.
Now we teach it everywhere. Go ahead.
No doubt. The science of, God's supreme intelligence in the universe, black man, foundation of his family. God's supreme force and power of the universe within the presence of the black man. Knowledge is when you're dealing with the science of relativity, because the sun is relative to the black man's mind. But religion is when you worship in the sun. We don't worship the sun. We realize that the sun is relative to the black man's mind. And that's when you're dealing with knowledge. Knowledge of self means all that's within the universe exists within the black man. So all the natural elements of the universe exist within me, showing proof that the black man is the universal builder, because the universal builder was manifested from the universe. The universe is where I came, and the universe is where we all return to. Actually, we're all on a rocket ship traveling around the sun in the universe. We all on one rocket ship called the Earth, and she's traveling around the sun at 1,037 third miles per hour on her way around the sun. But knowledge is infinite. You're welcome to come to our Universal Parliament on the last Sunday of the month. It's on the third Sunday of the month. You know what I'm saying? It used to be at Harriet Tubman. Now it's at PS 92. That's 222 West 134th Street. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too much parking over there. In Harriet Tubman, we had a lot of parking at Harriet Tubman, but Harriet Tubman is past tense. In the summertime, June, July, August, it's in Fort Greene Park on the last Sunday of the month. If it's not on the top of Fort Greene Park, it's on the side at Myrtle Avenue by North Portland Avenue, down the block from the old Cumberland Hospital, which is across the street from Fort Greene Projects, where Rakim made a record, Know the Ledge. Peace.
Wendy. Appreciate you coming on, God. Appreciate you coming on. It was a good one, man. It was a good one.
God just dropped. That's why I said I don't know if the guys in here smoking right now.
I speak for the five assurances, dude.
True indeed. And so with that, going in the live, peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace to the babies, man, peace to the babies, peace to the civilized, and peace to the uncivilized. Because the uncivilized need it more. Peace.
Peace.